Hey guys, happy Monday. My name is Jack Gorman, a senior here at UD and in Catholic Life. Very, very delighted to be speaking with you guys, and I've been gifted to watch a lot of the videos here in Lent, so just good job to everyone that's done one so far. Today I'm going to be talking about a temptation that I've realized in myself as I've lived out the spiritual life, the Catholic life, as a young man, and I'm assuming I'm talking to a lot of other young people in college, and so I think this can be relatable for a lot of people. And what this temptation is to create a divide. What I mean by that is that there's this sharp divide of like you living out the faith, so praying, going to mass, going to maybe for Catholic life events, going to campus ministry events, and to kind of create this divide and to put it into like extreme terms. And sometimes I've even thought this way, is that I'm good and I'm even perfect. I'm better, and this other person that maybe I'm eating dinner with, or maybe is my family member, they're bad and they're sinful, and they're lesser. So again, that's extreme terms, but I think it's something that we're tempted to feel when I see myself stepping out of sin and living for virtue, and I see other people not doing that, either unconsciously or either adamantly against the church and promoting sin even. And so I think three things that came to my mind is that, well, firstly, the reason that that's bad is because it creates resentment and because it creates pride. Even if there is objective truth. So there's an objective truth that if you go to Mass on Sunday, and someone else does not go to Mass on Sunday, or someone else habitually sins, and another person does not sin, not sinning is good. Sinning is bad. But to place worth or to place personal gain in one or the other is not good. And there's a bunch of theology behind that, but the main thing that I want to focus on is like feeling and sentiment. And if we find ourselves doing that, we have a sentiment of resentment and pride that we're better than others. So firstly, that denies concupiscence. Concupiscence is that we all have an inclination to sin. So to say that like I am better because I just like don't sin as often as the other person is to deny that like I could be sinning right now without the grace of God. And so it makes it more of like a personal thing that I've achieved rather than something I've been graced with and chosen through my free will over and over. And another thing that denies is the times. So right now we live in a time that, this is the second thing, is that there's societal norms. And so for example, it's a societal norm to live with your significant other after college. And this, as a senior, is something I'm experiencing. And it's all, so if I were to be talking to someone and they were to say that I'm moving in with my boyfriend or my girlfriend after college, if I were to react like, oh, what? How are you doing that? Don't you know? Don't you? That would be ignorant. It's ignoring the fact that it is overwhelmingly the norm to do that. It is overwhelmingly the norm to overdrink or to drink underage, to watch pornography, to masturbate. So like one option is like resentment and judgment. It's like, how are you doing that? The other is compassion, to realize that we live in a world that promotes these things and endorses them. And to have compassion for the person, not pity. Pity and compassion are not the same thing, but compassion for the person. Be able to say, I also live in these times with you, and I'm tempted to do these things. I'm tempted to overdrink. I'm tempted to do drugs. I'm tempted to sleep with my significant other, if we're being honest with ourselves. And maybe we're at a point where we don't seriously consider those thoughts, seriously consider those temptations, but to deny the fact that we live in the times that seriously promotes them, it's to deny that we are currently living in 2024 and to think that we're better than this, we're better than the society as a whole. What that creates is separation, resentment, and pride rather than compassion. If we look at Jesus, he sits with the sinners in Matthew chapter 9. And so he calls Matthew, and then he sits with all the tax collectors. The Pharisees come up to him, and they saw this, and he said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with the tax collectors and sinners?" He heard this and said, "Those who are well do not need a physician, but the sick do." Jesus said that. He said, "Go and learn the meaning of the words. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners." So I encourage you all, if you notice this in yourself, and I surely notice this in myself almost daily, this desire to create a divide between I am here because I pray, because I go to Mass, I'm in Catholic life, everyone else is over there. I encourage you, and I desire for you to pray with this scripture and to imagine Jesus at the table with sinners. His eyes were not filled with resentment and disgust, disdain. He did not look at them that way. He did not think, how do you do these things? How do you live a life so sinful, so of these times? But he looked at them with compassion and love, and he desired to give them mercy. Think about that in our own lives, at our family dinners, at our club meetings, in classrooms. Do we look at others with compassion, with love, desiring them to show the mercy of Jesus? Or do we look at them with disdain, disgust, resentment, pride? I leave that with you all. Again, that's Matthew chapter 9, verse 10 through 13. May Christ's peace be with you all. Safe travels for Easter break.